Hello, viewers. You are watching Team Fortress TV 2. I'm Sideshow. With me is Max, and Suyooo is doing the camera work. And we have got a legit excellent game for you tonight on Team Fortress TV 2. Sometimes we get the terrible games, but this time we've been relegated to the secondary channel. But I think it was a bit of a toss-up which one went onto this one. And this one, I think there's the potential for it to be a very good game. There's a potential for it to be a total blowout as well, but it should be very good. Max, what do you think about Foreskings versus Publiclir?
I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think we should have a very good game. Both teams are still one team's relatively new, and the other, I don't know much about that being Foreskings, but from what I've seen, they're a pretty scrappy team, and I think that's how Publiclir are going to decide to play it. So we're going to have a nice DM-heavy match here, I think, with some air shots, scout sprees, and snipers, and anything could happen. I think it's going to be a sick nasty of a game.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just to get a feel of how Foreskings is going to be playing this season, because they're a team that I don't really have a grasp on. I can't pin them down to how they really play, mostly because they played in high, and if you watch Sparry's video at the end of the season, they just seemed like they were having a lot of fun. I'm not sure whether they've really decided to put their all into this season of Premiership, because they definitely have the potential to step up to that level. Hello, they're all leaving the server. Oh, they're going to a different one. That's unfortunate. Let me just grab their info. But yeah, this is the week 1 game of ETF2L season 23, so that means we're going to be playing Badlands, or they're going to be playing, we're not going to be playing anything. They're going to be playing Badlands and then Snakewater. And this will kind of set the pace for the whole season. Where do you think you'll see these teams finishing by the end? If you had to make a bold prediction, or like just a rough placement, where would you place both of these teams at the end of the season?
I could see Publiclir finishing around the 4th, 5th level. I think that's like not too crazy to say, given the teams we have this season. And I think depending on how they do, because like you said, we don't have too much information on how like Foreskings play, because it's like a lot of their stuff in high is them just messing around, sparring, just destroying people as a demo night. But I think they could probably finish around the bottom mid-end table of Prem. I think that's not too mean.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think it all depends on how much effort the Israeli team are willing to put into this, in my opinion, because, I mean, it's to their credit that they were able to kind of take this season fairly casually and still destroy high last season. They took out some decent teams to get there. I don't think they played against Ownage Squad at any point, but they did knock out top 5. They played against Two Teeth T-Rex and beat them as well. So this is a team that was playing at a decently high level at the end of Season 22. So whether they've put in the time and effort to improve off the back of that, we will see, but they certainly have a lot of individual talent. Just to take you through the roster then for Foreskings while we get the server all set up. We're just hopping over because they've changed for some unknown reason. The roster for Foreskings is going to be Zangetsu on Medic. The Demoman is Sparry. Soldiers, Wacky on Pocket, JackyLegs on Roaming Soldier, and the Scouts are Sorex and Shulkipul. That's a different Sorex to the Italian one. I saw some people on TFTV were getting a bit muddled up over that. But I think Sorex is one of their big players. JackyLegs, huge plays on Roamers sometimes. Sparry is probably their standout best player, though.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We've seen like Sparry before. He won with you, right, with Elo Girl in high. So,
yeah,
I think that's where a lot of people first saw his name. Always been an incredible demo. One team I'm interested in as well is the other team, Publiclir, because they're a relatively new roster as well, and we don't really have that much information on them. They've not played that much, and like I talked to Smeardo today, and he told me he's like now their main caller, but I'm pretty sure what I saw earlier was Atomic doing the majority of the calling. They've got legendary Scout Flip back. I mean, I'm really excited to see what this team can pull out. AMS has some amazing rockets, like as I'm pretty much naming the roster, Smeardo is on demo, AMS is the pocket. They have Medico from Top 5 Rocket as the roamer, Flip and Atomic, as I mentioned earlier on Scouts, and Serotonin the medic. He's played with AMS for quite a while now as well. Seems to be pretty close.
Yeah, actually though, they have switched the soldiers around. It was mentioned in the preseason that they might try and do this because Medico had played pocket for so long with Top 5 Rocket, but they have apparently not been feeling the soldiers in the preseason, and they have in fact decided to switch. So Medico's going to be playing pocket, and AMS is going to be on roamer. So that mixes things up a bit.
AMS roamer.
He's definitely going to be launching.
He's going to be launching so much. I remember the days of BK towards the end of the season, where it was just like, you just bomb for us now. And it was just non-stop bombs in, trying to just do damage with rockets for the rest of the team to clean up. Maybe that's what we'll see now. And just Medico's DM will come out and he'll airshot everyone with that French power, singing songs of angry men as he does so.
It's certainly going to be interesting because AMS typically hates the roaming soldier role. He really doesn't understand how to play it properly. He doesn't understand how to maximize its effectiveness. But he does play a very aggressive pocket style anyway. He kind of plays a little bit like a more baity roamer even when he pockets. So I think their idea with this is just to have them both playing fairly loose, and hopefully AMS will naturally adapt into that once he starts taking less heals, and Medico can play slightly closer, and they'll kind of play with two scouts a little bit more out there, with Flip and Atomic just doing kind of what they want. But this is a team of some strong individuals, but I struggle to see how they're going to come together and work to support each other's weaknesses and build off each other's strengths. Flip and Atomic, whilst they are good scouts individually, I have yet to see them play at a really top level together or seem to have any synergy with the rest of the team. So we'll see how the whole teamwork synergistic aspect of Publiclir comes into play against the Israeli team who've been playing together for so long now. It must have been more than a year that these guys have been playing together, maybe 2.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying about Publiclir. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Smire to like try and keep them all together and not just trying to like take 1v1s all over the place. But I think, like as you were saying on the team play, like with AMS likes to be aggressive, and from what I've seen, Medico is fairly aggressive as well. So they could have these two loose, like very aggressive soldiers, and then you just sort of have the scouts and Smire like walking together. If he's like main calling, it's nice on him, you know, you can sort of control what he wants. And then Atomic and Flip are just DM monsters, you know, you only really need AMS and Medico just to do damage, which they can definitely do. And that could be like a good way to play, but I don't know, it depends on how Smire will want to call it. But there is a lot of cohesion that's going to be on the Foreskings team, because like you said, they have played together for a long time. They're good friends, and they're just playing some TF2, and they've happened to end up in Prem, and I think they're going to do very well.
Definitely potential for them to do pretty well. Let's I'll talk you through the roster of Foreskings as well and tell you what I know about these players. So Zangetsu, don't know really that much about him because they used to play with Bar back in previous seasons, and then even they played with somebody else in season 21, I think. Who is it? Can you think? I've forgotten the name. They were playing with a different Jewish medic, though. I can't remember who it was.
There's just so many.
But, yeah, Zangetsu is going to be on medic for them, and he played in Season 22. Wacky, I don't really know that well. He doesn't stand out to me. He seems fairly anonymous whenever I watch him play. He plays kind of a fairly decent pocket, but he's not... he doesn't have the greatest deathmatch. He doesn't seem to be calling that much for his team. I think he just plays like a fairly stable role for the rest of his team to work around. Sparry, they pump a lot of the heals in. He's got previous Premiership experience with Deserto, with AO Girl, and one high with Elo Girl, as you said before. So he's by far the most experienced player on the team. And then the other two that I really know are JackyLegs and Sorex. JackyLegs is probably one of the better roamers playing in Prem this season, even though he's only just come into it. So if you give him a little bit of room and a team that he's comfortable in, I think we'll see him make a fairly big impact in terms of what you can really achieve on Roma. And Sorex has been able to play Prem now for quite a while, so him along with Shulkipul should be on a reasonable level. I think they will still get outclassed if they go toe-to-toe with Atomic and Flip. Do you hear that music, Max?
Oh my god,
this is the first time I've casted with that music. God, I'm so ready.
I'm actually pumped. My adrenaline is flowing, and let's see it go out into this first middle as we get here. Sparry looks to be... Oh, Smire looks to be playing on his balcony while Sparry's getting on his train. The damage is coming out as Foreskings are on their own side. And the Romer's going to try and bomb and get Serotonin down. Wacky's getting that first pick. Smire does return a pick onto JackyLegs, though all the actioning happened around Foreskings' train. 2 down a piece, and the health looking not too great whatsoever on Foreskings, but who can the frags go towards? It looks like it's going to be Publiclir in the end, getting Sparry there. Sorex the only... So, oh, he's a spawner on NG. They're straight up ready for that last defense, dude.
Yeah, he's actually switched off to Scout now. That was a really strange mid-fight. I feel like they overcommitted onto the pick on Serotonin, and they just hung their entire team out to dry. Sparry wasn't able to put down too much damage. Medico was completely uncontested the entire time. Just ran around on full health, loading rockets into people. Did so much damage on that mid-fight. Didn't actually come out with a frag. No, I think he did pick up somebody. I think he picked off the medic in the end, but he was having a big mid, but mostly because he wasn't actually being focused at all. Serotonin has managed to scrape a little bit of an advantage due to the fact that he is running the crit streak, but Smear gets dropped by the sticky trap on the right hand side of lobby. So as they make their way into upper, they've got a fairly tough decision here. They're going to have to push with the crits, and they use it on Amps.
Alright, Amps going in. He does find his first rocket onto Wacky, but he's just going to get taken down by Sparry, and it's Serotonin and Amps down. Pretty disastrous for Publiclir. The push-up should be coming here from Foreskings. Can they get any more pressure going out? However, there is a soldier hiding in this lower right area. There's another soldier ready to fight him on last if that does come to anything, but meanwhile the fight on Spire is still happening, and this only start the cap time now. Both scouts on it, and Spire's going to try to join them, although the Uber does actually get forced by the soldier from behind them, so that's not too great for Foreskings. They're going to try and see if they can do anything with this, but they are going to get Spire, which is nice, but Medico is going to catch a pick onto Wacky at the end of that fight. Sideshow. The Roamer's still behind.
Amps, as you can see, running the sniper on Roamer, it's given him a bit more flexibility to off-class, and we saw him running it a little bit in the pre-game, so let's see if he can hit anything around this choke point. I'm not a big fan of running the sniper on Badlands choke. I don't think you get a very good angle. I think you have to commit pretty deep. Look at how deep he's committing. He got a shot off on Zangetsu and actually manages to escape as well. That is,
get punished.
he should have been punished, definitely there. Sparry, I think, was just firing stickies one at a time, but if he had stickied behind and just had his soldier firing, I mean, they panicked a little bit because they saw the bead on Zangetsu, but Amps couldn't quite pull off the shot.
Yeah, they didn't know really what to do. Let's see if they figure out right now, because it looks like they're getting flanked pretty hard. Scouts managed to go up, drop down while the rest of his team pushes through resub. Uber does get used by Serotonin, and the counter for Foreskings. They are 2 players down as Amps finds a nice headshot onto Sorex there from Choke. They're going to try and keep this chase going through the resub area. Soldiers battling it out, but Foreskings barely going to hold their position. The cap on Spire does start now from Smire. He's going to have this Spire fight with the soldier, just misses that pipe as the scouts. Oh my god, there's so much action just going all around the map, but it does look like in the end the Spire cap should be going down. Smire does get forced off as another soldier jumps in behind, does get the rocket onto Serotonin there. Nice pick from Wacky, but Spire does go down in the end. Are they going to keep the chase going, or are we finally going to have a moment to take our breaths? It looks like the breath can be had, Sideshow.
Foreskings just look like they have tunnel vision and don't really know what they want to achieve. Publiclir pushed some people behind into lobby, and so they drew the entirety of Foreskings back around this resup area because they thought a resup push was coming in. At the same time, Amps peeks from choke and gets a headshot because all of the space has been opened up to him. So that was nice play by him to utilize the space that was given. But then Foreskings tried to chase them back through house at the same time as Smear was just coming in and capping Spire. So it feels like Foreskings are expecting these fights to just go down on one front. They're expecting just to have like a 6v6 team fight in an area and that be the end of it. But Publiclir are just splitting up through these fights, and they don't know what to do with it. Foreskings are chasing one half of their team around the map, while the other half just caps, or flanks them.
Yeah, and that leads Publiclir to find themselves 2 caps here on Wacky and Shaquille O'Neal, the scout, and they're just gonna really they're waiting their time. They know they can play it kind of slow. They're gonna try and pressure this point, see if they can get anything going. Both Ubers are in play, however the spawns are gonna be coming back up now, so I guess it's just a classic reset situation. But it does look like Amps wants to be, Medico wants to be going in right now. He does use his own Uber. He's trying to force the medic, does get it out. He's going to have to try and see if he can get out himself, going through main. Yeah, he does just barely make it. Oh, no, he doesn't. The frag does find him. Foreskings do find a frag onto him, but already Publiclir out onto their spot. I think they have someone in position for a back cap. Oh, yeah, Amps is hiding.
That's a super nice hiding spot. I love this hiding spot. It never gets checked, even at Prem levels. And he should be able to go back and take this 1v1 against JackyLegs. I know he's actually just flank team. This might actually be the better play if he can coordinate that with the rest of his team. But it's a superb shot from Wacky just to shut him down. Get out of here, Amps. Your launch has failed this time.
It looks
Ground
like
control to major Amps. We've got a problem.
He tried to launch, but the EXE crashed, dude. But as well as he got shot down, Spire hit a nice pipe onto Atomic, and that pretty much forces them all the way out of second. They're going to try and keep the fight. Soldier bombing in through Choke right now. The action's going everywhere. The health does kind of favor Foreskings right now, and the pick onto Medico should be going pretty well. Wacky coming with a nice bomb there to try and take JackyLegs, excuse me, to take down Serotonin. The Uber is actually forced though from Foreskings. Can they clean up these final frags? It is only Wacky and Zangetsu left. Suyooo getting taken down to 70 HP. He's actually just going to go behind into their house, see if he can find any picks, but looking like they recognize their poor position, they want to start backing out.
Oh, Smear is so far forwards there. One rocket from Wacky would have killed him, and he's still trying to push because Flip is distracting them. It's not Flippy, it's Flip. It's the other superstar French scout. Atomic's on Spire as well, and Wacky's going to jump up, try and block that one, but Atomic should be able to escape. Yeah, the play with AMS there on Spire, if his team had distracted for him, he would have been able to get onto them and make that into a really excellent play, would have been able to crush them. I think it kind of shows the lack of experience on AMS with his decision making on Roma, that he just saw an opportunity and went for it instantly when they had no idea that he was behind, and he could have called to the rest of his team. So these kind of mistakes are probably going to get ironed out if they stick with this soldier lineup for the rest of the season, or the next few games at least. The cohesion between AMS and Medico and the way that they hop from heels to the flank will get slightly easier for them both. But look at the team at the moment, just all clumped around their train, nobody watching the flank whatsoever. Neither of the soldiers is playing in-house, which is the normal Roma role, and means that you have so much more vision over the map and control of those flank areas. Instead, AMS launching once again does get Zangetsu down really weak, actually, down to about 20 health, maybe even down to the low teens there, but unfortunately can't find the frag or the Uber Force.
Yeah, balls of Jewish steel there from Zangetsu to hold. Goes down to 14 HP and finally does use in this house. Ubers are exchanging, it's much better for Publiclir, and Sorix been getting taken down by Atomic elsewhere in the fight. But we do just reset again. We do have, I think, JackyLegs hiding on this haunt area. He pops down a bit too early, tries to get some damage, jumps the choke, but he just gets taken down by Flip. Spari, meanwhile, finds a sticky kill on Atomic, but the numbers are down for Foreskings. However, they are managing to equalize it. The fight continuing in this choke. All these players still in, but the splash damage is just reigning supreme. JackyLegs finds 2 frags on both the soldiers. However, Smire, the god demo man, coming in, 1 sticky, 1 pipe kill, and they're still trying to force him out. 3v3 situation, and it looks like Foreskings just want to concede, and they're starting to give up the Spire. I think they could have stayed and fight, Sideshow.
Sparry got bullied out there, but he's just going to tank those 2 stickies and try and take the fight anyway. Smirra's not got a very good angle to put damage, but they still managed to get the cap, and they're just going to have to back off here. Zangetsu does have an Uber advantage, but they don't want to contest this one. They don't want to commit to it and it go wrong. I think that's the correct decision given their previous encounters on Spire. They really haven't been that great at defending, especially when it was a sticky situation like that. So Foreskings are going to have this forwards lobby hold, Sparry holding down these 2 front doors. Medico's just been let in though. What is Sparry doing just to let the team in without any kind of contest? AMS has managed to get behind, it gets cleaned up, and somehow Publiclir beef that completely. I think they couldn't believe their luck. They got in through the main door and they just stayed there because they couldn't believe this. They assumed there would be a sticky trap somewhere else, that Sparry was baiting them into something. And instead, if they had just balls deep, if they had just rushed through main there with the Uber, they almost definitely would have got that round. But Sparry gave them the mind games by accident.
I think what they were trying to do was distract for the AMP spy to like go behind. Oh no, that was pretty bad. The Uber used to choke for Publiclir. Not the greatest for them. Foreskings is going to be much better. Let's see how they keep this chase going. There's only 3 of them remaining and their health is super low on Foreskings to clean up. JackyLegs finding himself a 4k there. Nice play from him. Atomic, the fresh spawner. He's probably going to go in because he's Eastern European. He wants that play, but actually, though, it looks like he's smarter than me. Oh no, he's hiding somewhere. He finds the demo man. Can he get the shots onto him? No, he can't. That should be a Spire for Foreskings as well. Beautiful play by them.
Atomic had an opportunity to just be a little more patient. He would have got the shot onto the Zangetsu, and then he would have been way less defended than Sparry was as well, but he just saw Sparry going past and couldn't resist. Flip on Pyro, 1 HP, will go down. That's way too aggressive from Flip when they've just got to defend against an Ubercharge coming in the next 5 seconds. So here we go, Foreskings with a real opportunity here to put a round on the board. Wacky leading it in, half health, but the Uber is popped onto him. Medico pushed back into spawn, and the sticks have been knocked around all over the point. Are they going to get baited? Yes, they are. Wacky's still playing the point, but there's nobody else to follow up on it.
And the frags do find themselves too publicly. Scout rushing in behind, trying to get all the shots on Zangetsu, but it doesn't look like he's hitting it quite yet. However, AMS and Medico have found the frags elsewhere, but they do manage to get heroed by Shikopple. He's taking down Smire, but the spawners are still there at an advantage, and they're going to try and cap the spot. I think they should have enough time to make it, but it does look like Foreskings actually want to try the aggressive play and block. At least their soldier does, hiding in Haunter. Can he get anything? Oh no, he just decides to back away. A pretty rushed push there, I'd say, onto last Sideshow.
Yeah, but they didn't even commit to it. They just stayed in upper lobby, like, baiting Wacky out. Wacky played it perfectly. He went in, forced everybody into spawn, goes onto the point, baits the sticky death out of Smirror, drops back on and puts a bit of cap time. The stickies are blown once again. All they need is one person to follow up on it. But never mind. Let's take a look at this Uber fight here and see if Publiclir... Oh my god! Medico double air shot with a little pause in between as well. We got to see that in all its full glory.
It's the dramatic slowdown. It's like the things in Power Rangers, you know, where they destroy like the big boss and it shows it from like 5 different angles. Just it took a like pause before it hits him.
Now we've got Sorex on Sniper as well, so as he makes his way in through the choke, Atomic's surely going to get picked here as well. Shulkapul definitely going to pick him up, but JackyLegs did go down, and Shulkapul needs the heals in order to take control of this mid-fight. Sorex should have a lot of space here to work with, and they still haven't used their overcharge either, so this one, because they have a Sniper, I wouldn't... If I was in Foreskings' position, I wouldn't be trying to push this one forwards with the Uber advantage. I'd just make room for Sorex and see if you can find a pick. But they are getting pretty far in here.
Yeah, but it does look like Publiclir have been counting that Uber. They know they're close from that pick on Shaquille O'Neal. They're going to try and fight it out. However, Aspari does go in for the God play onto the Medic there, and actually does take down Serotonin. Great from him. He does get taken down by Medico, but this is looking really good for Foreskings. All the health getting knocked down low. Sorex even getting himself 2 picks right there. However, there is a scout in on his face. Big 2-shot from Flip. Can he get the Medic? He's shooting him. No, he just gets directed by Wacky. That was pretty crazy from him. The final scout of Atomic getting another direct and getting down by Shaquille O'Neal. Slam dunked, you could say, by Shaq.
Yeah, he did manage to come in and take down Zangetsu, which saves his team a little bit. They should be able to defend Spire now. Shulkapul, if he commits to this one, is definitely going to die. Yeah, down he goes. If I was Serotonin there, I'd be screaming at my team as well, because they deserted him when he was on 88%, and then Sparry bombed in while he had nobody with him, and there was nobody to deny the Sparry bomb. So I would be very upset if I was Serotonin in that situation. Thankfully, they managed to defend Spire.
He literally just walked in front of him and then went behind. He's decloaking, he gets on the Medic, he
beefed that so hard, and then Smirror just accidentally dead, and he dies.
Oh, and then they lose 3 forward in total. Barry does kill himself on a roller, but execution from Public there, doing kind of a public service and just sort of gifting them of Foreskings. It's their lucky day, Monica has come early. But they're still not even pushing into Spire yet. What are they waiting for? Public have all their spawners now, they can try and mount a defense Sideshow.
Flip is playing from Grey Bridge, but my eyes are on Atomic, who's still hiding on mid. I think he wants to pick up Sparry and then come in and flank the rest of the team. He's going in now, really well timed from Atomic, but he missed a few of his shots. Should still be able to find the pick, but it waited quite a long time and baited the rest of his team. So they weren't able to take the fight on Spire or try and get a force out. He needs to back spawn because in comes the Uber from Zangetsu, using it on Wacky, and they're going top left. It's like a hammer being driven into the team of Publiclir here. Wacky once again doing a great job hiding above the point, going to bait the stickies down, now needs the collapse. Wacky doing so much work, but just needs a few more people to commit to it. JackyLegs will not commit, and the rest of the players aren't quite there yet. Sparry's going to try and come in, making a lot of space. Sorex is going to surely get this as he comes in from the bottom right hand side. Can he find the pipes? Not quite, and they are up 1-0. This is a great start here for Foreskings.
Yeah, really good for them. That's going to be great for their confidence. Their mumble atmosphere must be pretty good right now. That was a really nice push. Wacky came in and did like 90% of the work, just like triple directed Medico, and then he tried to jump and killed himself. Pretty unfortunate for him, and then Sparry towards the end of it just stickies, and everyone just came in, did their bit, and they finally capped the round out. But as we go into this next middle, both demos go out normal. Neither really seems to trade damage with the other. We do have AMS in this Team X spot. He's going to be jumping in right now, chooses to focus some damage on the soldier. Medico did find a pick onto JackyLegs to start this fight off. Both teams just sort of trying to get their posture. However, a couple players on the ground right now, and Atomic does go down. Foreskings all in their choke. Who can get the better positioning first? It does look like it's going to be Publiclir as they do cap it out. And Foreskings are just going to back up and keep their Uber, hopefully. Just reset to a second hold Sideshow.
Yeah, it looks like they actually want to go forwards with this one. They're one player down, they're 5v6, and they want to actually take this fight. This is a pretty mental from Publiclir, but AMS doing one of his famous AMS Ubers. We'll have to see how this works for them. I think both of the Ubers are just going to get traded, and that'll be it. They'll just reset to choke. But I still don't really understand why Publiclir are playing this so aggressively. Maybe because they're 1-0 down, it's getting to them, but they really want to try and take this one. And AMS and Medico doing a lot of damage to a lot of different players. They just need some cleanup now. Atomic comes in, takes down Wacky. Could have easily got a pick onto Sorex, but it seems like the damage calls just weren't being transmitted well enough. JackyLegs and AMS trade on Haunter as well. Shulker pulled down really weak now, and Sparry goes in for a hero bomb, but not going to happen. And they are slowly just battering Foreskings backwards into trash.
Yeah, the both scouts still in trash area. The medic of Zangetsu has finally decided to get out. Can the scouts get anything going? No, they're just going to wisely back out through trash. Great play there by Publiclir, just slowly forcing them out shot by shot. And now they're going to be pushing onto their last with, if they're quick enough, they can get the medic before he gets Uber, if they've been counting this correctly. How are they going to do it? I think they might be taking a little bit too long. It looks like both scouts in through this top left area. They're rushing in. Can they get a pick or the force or anything? They do manage to take down Wacky. That's a really good pick to start it off. They're going to try and back up through main, but Serotonin's going to get caught out. That's tragic for Publiclir. But I guess it's just going to set up the AMP spy play. He's trying this again. But all the players are actually dropped down in this main area. AMS is going to hide near this Toxic as the rest of his team decide to choose to lose their lives so that they push out and AMS can set up with the spy play. Really nice.
I think that's a reasonable play. Like, they lose their medic and the rest of the players are going to go in and see if they can force Zangetsu anyway, but AMS is now just in a perfect position to get this, and JackyLegs has gone back into spawn at the worst possible time. Can he get to the point in time? He can't. What a brilliantly executed play by AMS, and you could see him coordinating that play with the rest of his team. They put all of their eggs in the AMS basket, and it paid off for them that time. JackyLegs will be kicking himself for going and getting that health. He was on 170 anyway. He could have got an arrow as Zangetsu disappeared, but God, that's going to be disappointing. Now, let's take a look at this mid fight. It is 1-1. This is our third mid. Last time, JackyLegs got completely baited by the rest of his team. He needs a scout or Wacky to follow up some of the aggression that he's doing. Once again, going super deep. This time, all the way onto Smira. Great play by him, picking up the med pack and will be dueling Medico, and that's given Foreskings so much position.
Yeah, they're keeping this going right now. They've got 2 picks. So, JackyLegs is the only one who died on them. The scout with flip does just run in and kill Sparry, but he does get taken down by his team. Nice numbers advantage for Foreskings as they close out this middle, but it looks like a lot of Publiclir is still in. That's going to be Medico going for this deep bomb, but he's just going to get air shot and can't quite connect the rockets into Zangetsu, Smeary, the spawner, as well as Atomic. I think Atomic's going to try and get in behind and maybe cause some disruption as the rest of Foreskings pushing in through this choke. He's going to get in the rocket. Oh my god, it sort of knocks him down really low, and Sparry's going to finish him off.
Sparry nearly killed himself.
That's pretty nice, rocket, and they're going to convert that to a spire cap, so we're going to have another last push coming in from Foreskings with a huge over advantage Sideshow.
Yeah, and Flip last time had a really terrible performance on Pyro, so let's make sure, Flip, that you do not push into them as Pyro. You are a defensive class, but instead of just taking the top right hand side, he's going to be completely useless once again, and he actually drops down, trying to just deny them from jumping up and taking position. He's doing a great job, but everybody has died anyway. Sorex just ran in from the top left, I think, while they were all looking at those Ubered players and just destroyed them. And that was a really nice pincer play by all of the players, really. Well executed last push, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, the last push is for Foreskings, and their team play in general has been really good and enjoyable to watch. I feel like when they are playing aggressive, they're pulling it off pretty well. Publicly seem to be getting rocked as they, like, a couple players are sort of out of sync with each other. But in general, they are doing pretty well. Let's see what happens on this next mid-fight right now. JackyLegs is going to be trying this T-Mac play again, going in with his scout, but Shikopol is going to be the first pick. But JackyLegs finds himself 2, as well as all the splash damage comes out. Wacky JackyLegs getting a 4 kills, then Sparry the 5th.
That was an unreal play by JackyLegs. He is sat on slope, sees both of the scouts aggressive, like shoots one of them up and then air shots them both for the frag, finishes off the medic, and he also got... Who did he get as well? Did he get someone else? I think he only picked up 3. Oh, did he get Medico at the end as well? No, that was Wacky.
Was it? I saw a 4 in the kill feed. I swear, dude. I'm going crazy. That's probably what it is.
AMS is going to block the Spire, though. I think that's a bit ambitious. Yeah, against both of the scouts, he's going to go down and leave his team defending 5v6. And we could be seeing yet another round.
There's a soldier just above.
Oh my god, how did JackyLegs get up there?
He's just waiting in there as his team Ubers and forces Publiclir into their spawn. Someone's going to bait down the sticks and he's going to drop down now. There's so much time on it. Dude, go! Drop down. No one's ready for it. They finally do spot him out.
They've seen him as well.
Yeah, and he's just going to... Oh my god, Serotonin's the
3 of them with him!
Remaining. What the hell? Sparry pipes! He's knocking Serotonin down to 56, please.
Oh
yes,
my god.
Him. What the hell was that?
That's unbelievable. JackyLegs waited way too long. Like, he almost threw that away. He was stuck between trying to wait and see if the push failed and he could go for a back cap, and just helping his team out in the best possible situation. And he nearly beefed it. That was so close. But he landed down and did like 300 damage, and Sparry just came in with a few pipes as well. Unreal.
Yeah, clean that out with the Israeli defense force of Foreskings, but on this middle he's actually going to get hit by the first sticky here. Looks like Publiclir are going to take this one playing in their slope. Usually the aggression's been coming on them pretty quickly, and here it is again with Wacky taking down Suyooo really quickly. AMS gets a return frag onto Sparry. Both soldiers playing in their choke. Medico going to take down Sorax, and AMS getting taken down by a medic there, but there's only 2 remaining. One now, Atomic, the lone survivor, does pick off JackyLegs, but has no HP. He's not going to be able to fight Shikapola right here. He's under the point. He's going to try and get out, but doesn't. That's another wipe by Publiclir. Jesus, the mid is not going great.
Yeah, this is really starting to rack up here for Foreskings, and they are starting to play really well. Their mid fights, they had a little bit of trouble with them at the beginning. They seem to have fixed those troubles. JackyLegs is now going huge. He's getting supported by his team. Sparry's putting out tons of damage and hitting god pipes all over the map. And unfortunately, they're committing a little bit too hard to some of these Spire fights, but they're still winning most of the transition plays overall. And in comes another Uber fight. Let's see how many Foreskings can take with them. AMS is going to bomb. He gets air shot. Can he get the double? No. AMS actually claims a frag on Wacky there, and this should swing the tide of the fight in the other direction. Zangetsu surely going to get stuck in as well with Sparry. They should be punished for this.
Oh no, he just barely gets out with 40 HP.
Or Medico should bomb. One of them is not playing aggressively enough because they were so weak and they had to know it.
Yeah, Atomic was already in through this house. I think he was expecting the kind of aggression that you were also, but it's just going to reset with them holding choke. Atomic's still forward in this house area, but not going to find anything from it, excuse me. But yeah, there was a great force play, and they stayed on Spire, which was right, but now they're finally pushing through this house. But they've allowed Zangetsu to get so much Uber. If he gets out of this fight, it's pretty bad. The Uber's used. They get almost to it. They look to go through this choke right now. Medico's peeking for it. They're getting back-capped on Spire, though. That's pretty unfortunate. AMS is just going to get air shot by JackyLegs. The true Spire King, Smear, is also on it. Can he get anything going? He does knock him off the point. Uber's used on middle because there's action still going on everywhere on this map. This is absolutely crazy. AMS with a nice shot in chat. And Flip and his medic going to be coming in through this choke completely unseen. Flip shooting the medic. Can he get him down? Gets him down to 5 HP. Doesn't clean him up. 8 HP remaining on him. Smear is going to take down JackyLegs. This fight is absolutely crazy.
Medico's going for him though. Medico's surely going to be able to pick up this frag on Zangetsu, but Medico's really weak. It does actually find the frag there on the Israeli medic and help his team a little bit, but that was a car crash for Publiclir. JackyLegs went on the back cab. They lost 2 players trying to defend there. JackyLegs takes 2 of them with him. Unfortunately can't finish off the Spire cab. And the only bad point the only thing I can pick up on Foreskings that they keep doing again and again is committing way too hard to these Spire fights. They will just push a scout onto Spire and he will die before the rest of their team is in a position to push back Publicly from balcony or even put spam on them. So if they can hold on, they'll be perfectly fine, or if they can fix this Spire play, but there's definitely room there for Publicly to swing things back in their favor.
And that's what they're trying right now as Soldier of Medico bombs in pretty deep. 2 scouts on the slope. They do focus down and take care of JackyLegs pretty quickly. Fight still going on very close to this house area. Scout pretty forward, but he's going to get spammed out. Only 1 down for Publiclir and 2 for Foreskings. They're just going to cap this middle. I want to see some aggression. Keep on going, Publiclir. There's only 6 minutes remaining. They're getting spammed a little bit by this demo man of Spire. The fear is in their eyes, Sideshow. They just don't know what to do.
The crits has come in, but the Uber is now popped. Medico and AMS both in on it. AMS was dropped down so weak there. I think he tanked a crit rocket while he was on 300 health. But they've found the frag onto Zangetsu, and surely the rest of Foreskings should fall fairly shortly. Everybody else has managed to back off, and there's a sentry being built on last. That might not be quick enough.
It's not quick enough at all. His players are already getting onto the point. Wacky's going to get taken down, but the both soldiers on it just spamming. There's going to be 2-3 the score. Publicly clawing themselves back into this game. I'm liking it. 2-3, nice and close. How much time we got left, dude?
We have 5 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm at the TF2 talking clock. On the 3rd beep, it will be 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Beep, beep, beep. There you go. So 3-2. Foreskings are leading at the moment. Let's see if they can pull out another decent mid-fight, or whether they're going to throw and let Publicly level here. They have looked to be the better team for the most part. JackyLegs once again deep, but this time not really supported by anybody. This time he has just bought a lot of presents for his team on the mid.
Flip fighting the scout in the shithouse area right now, as the positioning does heavily favor Foreskings, but they're not really winning these fights. The health of Publiclir are really low. A couple key frags to take it out, but no, they're just focusing the targets correctly. Zangetsu's going to get taken down in this house. Nice little juggle there from Medico. That's going to seal the deal. Shikupo, the only remaining player with 25 HP, gets a health pack. He's going to try and do something on middle. It's being capped out by the scout, but he's just going to get forced, and the spawn advantage should give Publiclir the safe mid. Unless Foreskings want to be reckless and try something, but I don't know, they still have a round advantage, they can still play it a bit safe, I think.
Yeah, but it also gives them a cushion to try these things out as well. I think whenever I'm in a position like that and there's still time to come back, I don't mind taking those kind of fights. I wouldn't have gone into mid, but I would definitely be holding choke at this point in time. JackyLegs so aggressive, gonna pick up 2 Atomic and Serotonin down, goes back out and kills another one with the help of Wacky. Absolute destruction. They're so coordinated around these choke points. That's really good, and Publiclir just fell apart. They weren't expecting JackyLegs to be so aggressive into them, and he just hit 3 sick rockets in a row to drop Atomic and then Serotonin. Really nice play by JackyLegs once again. He's carrying them in so many of these clutch situations where they just need to turn a fight around right at the beginning.
Yeah, and he actually, as you were singing his praises, he's been having this awkward fight with Flip in Resup, and he does get taken down by him. Flip almost getting out, but Sparry's picking him up there, as the rest of his team are fighting in this middle area. Uber has been used, and they're going to force Publiclir all the way out of this middle and back onto their second. I think they're going to keep the aggression rolling. Sparry coming in through this choke area right now, trying to rain out his stickies. Smear is going to be trying to block this Spire, but Wacky's just going to take him out. Great play from him, and he's in the lobby area now. He's going to come out this trash and surprise Publiclir, but he just gets directed. But Sparry's going to come in and kill Medico. Can he get the medic? Knocks him up with the pipe. The axe is out. Can you lay a down? Yes, he can. Serotonin gets destroyed. However, the fight does actually look to be going Publiclir's way, because the demo is still really forward. Atomic getting his 3rd kill, and Spy's going to get retaken by Publiclir. They're not out of this one just yet, Sideshow.
In my opinion, worth it for the axe kill. That one will be going in the P-Rec bookmark. I think Sparry likes to collect them. He thinks of himself as the executioner.
Wouldn't you? I mean, it's such a hype weapon. You just swing this giant axe at someone's face and do like 1,000,000 damage. And just
yeah, it's so
when you
good.
do it, so it feels heavy.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's actually like a really decent choice for the Demoman's melee weapon. It does more damage, and when you have it out, you don't normally need to be going that quickly anyway. Yeah. But let's take a look at what's happening on this mid, because Publiclir with 2 minutes left are only 1 round down, and they are going pedal to the metal. They do have a slight uber advantage, but it's only around 10%. If they try and wait for that, I think they're going to be in a worse position than if they just big balls it in. They can really push from house here without anybody being seen. JackyLegs and Wacky both holding on train, as we saw from Medico and AMS earlier. I don't know why neither of the Romans are liking to hold in house or even back on that house balcony, but it has allowed them to get in fairly freely as Atomic and Flip pressured from Valley at the same time as they just jumped in from choke. And now there's going to be the crucial uber fight of the game. Oh, and Wacky gets dropped!
That's really unfortunate. Medico going to try and continue his great Uber, doesn't force out Foreskings, and they flash a lot. It's going to be kind of ended up even in the end here. JackyLegs tries to force on these players in house. Both scouts are going to be chasing through this choke right now. It's up to Smira and his team scout team partners, people, to close out this fight, but it does look like we're just going to end up resetting. Neither team, well, Foreskings hold in the middle. However, we do have AMS actually jumping in, trying to make a play happen with the rest of his team. Atomic going to take down JackyLegs. Sparry, however, just double pipe Serotonin and choke. That's really unfortunate. How are they going to deal with him? The scouts on him, trying to get the meat shot mania go, and he does take him down, as well as Flip picking off Sorex. They're finally going to get the middle. Only 3 up for Foreskings, and they're already in their lobby. Probably, they might be able to do it. 1 minute remaining.
1 minute left, Max, and Serotonin is down, so they have a maximum of 1 Uber left. They can build this up and they can push with it, but with Sparry down now, they couldn't cap Spy quick enough in order to make the best use of that. And Sorex going for the super ballsy play on Spy, or is he just checking the miniguns? No, just checking the miniguns. God, my heart was in my mouth there just for a second. But he's going to be building up the sentry because they know that they have a lot of time. If they wait for this Uber charge here from Serotonin, they're going to be wasting so much time. What is he on at the moment? He's on 42%. So they're only going to have 10 seconds, really, if they wait for the Uber. They should be crushing them as they come in here.
The Uber, they're just jumping in straight away, and the Uber's actually going to be used by Foreskings here. It's a little early if you want to hold it down to that final 8 seconds so you can just clutch it out. However, they do be finding themselves the frags. There's only 3 remaining.
Seconds.
It's the scouts. They need to get on this point, but they're just getting focused down by this Israeli heavy power. Scout of Atomic tries to go behind the point, but the sentry's just going to get taken down. Serotonin with 20 HP in main. Only 1 remaining. That's going to be the first score to Foreskings. What an upset, question mark.
Yeah, really big play from them. I wouldn't particularly call it an upset because we didn't actually know like where Foreskings would be pegging in the season. But I think this gives us a really good idea of the teams that they can contest with and the teams they're just going to walk all over, because the performance from them there was actually very impressive. I think Publiclir started out fairly well, but it got slowly worse as the game went on. They were making some really questionable plays. They looked like they were out of sync at quite a lot of key fights. And especially around the Badlands choke, for some reason they were just getting obliterated every time. It was like there was never really a pocket scout with Serotonin or something to deny these aggressive plays onto him in the middle of these 6v6 deathmatch fights. But that was a bit of a crazy map. After seeing that, have you changed your opinion about where Foreskings could end up in the season?
Definitely. I've really enjoyed what I've seen. But I do think, Publicly have some quite slip-ups. Serotonin was left on his own a lot, and just, I don't know, like the scouts, Atomic was like way more aggressive than the rest of the team. I felt he was kind of on like a different wavelength, you know, because he wanted to be like always in the enemy's face, aggressive of like his soldiers, I felt. But it just kind of didn't happen, so players were just sort of slightly out of sync with each other, which led to a lot of just odd pushes in general. Whereas Foreskings were generally just always on the same page. They knew when they wanted to push and back out and stuff, and I think it led to just better team play on their end. If I did have one critique, though, I think you pointed out at some point, the Romans didn't really go for these huge like flank plays, and what ended up happening is Foreskings hold places when they're all together. So like when they're holding middle, they have half the team like on train, one slightly watching house, not even inside it, and then like one on back train. Like, if you really wanted to, I see a lot of places in the flank, like, you could open up to make plays. Like, Atomic was always getting, like, really close to them, just randomly, it seemed, and he was never really being challenged. I feel like when they play a better team like Reason, that's something that could be a huge detriment to them, and if I was to give them a tip, that's what I'd look out for.
I'm taking a look at the logs now of the game, and I think the frags and conversely deaths, because obviously they're intrinsically linked, tell most of the story, to be honest. If we sort by deaths to start with, Zangetsu only has 8 compared to Serotonin's 18. That's a huge amount of deaths for Serotonin, and I feel like he wasn't actually getting caught out in individual plays. He was getting caught out in team fights where the rest of his team were wiping. But everyone else on the team, apart from Flip, has more than 18 deaths. We're looking at Atomic 19, Smurr 19, Medico 21, AMS 27. This was a high death game for the Publiclir team, which obviously makes it a high fragging game for the Foreskings team. But I think that wasn't because they were winning individual fights or they were getting more picks than the other team. It was just they were crushing a lot of the team fights. When the teams actually just went head-to-head and had these fights, the soldiers, particularly coordinated bombs from Wacky and JackyLegs, and then the follow-up from Sparry, where he was just hitting some mad damage, was way too much for Publiclir to deal with. They couldn't collapse on them properly. Atomic and Flip could never really get a foothold into those fights, even though they ended up with the most frags on the Publiclir team. They just could not get into it properly. I wonder whether if they switched their soldiers around or hadn't, if they kept AMS on pocket, they may have had a slightly better result. They might have had more power in their combo, but that was every time the teams actually went head to head, it was Foreskings on top. And the only time Publiclir really showed a little bit more brain power and were trying to outplay them rather than just running into them and taking these team fights, they were winning in the first round, the second round as well. Even though they lost that first round to a back cap, it was very back and forth. It lasted like 14 minutes. So if they try and play that style, if they try not to take these team fights, if they try not to take these Uber fights and off Uber fights, and instead just try and play around them and get in, split them up, try and flank them a little bit, I think they're going to have a little bit more success.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Like, based off what I saw in the game, it's a very fair evaluation, as I keep saying generic things to agree with your point, but it's completely true. Like, every time they took the fight, as you said, it was just going badly. I think Atomic and AMS could work a lot better together to try and get some of these plays going, but the problem is, like, while they do this, it's obviously, like, they have to set up like a stalemate situation, and one way to, like, set that up is, the problem is you give the other team time to set something up, and JackyLegs was honestly playing really well that match, and I think if you give your team time to set up, you're also giving him time to sort of get his plays going, and damn, was he doing some work. especially on mid fights. Like Jesus, this dude was just going in and going ham, and then leaving and just surviving, and going ham again a little bit later on. Kid ended up with 31 frags.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Hell?
That's an honestly incredible performance on Roman Soldier. It's a really fantastic play from JackyLegs, but also Wacky played superbly as well.
13 airshots.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, 13 airshots.
My neighbor.
He was keeping up with JackyLegs in all of these fights. He was providing consistent damage, supporting him whenever it was needed in the team fights. Although he was playing like slightly more passive on the mid fights, which I thought there were occasions where he could have gone more aggressive and it would have helped his team a little bit. But I like the fact that they were anchoring themselves around Wacky and Sparry a lot, and Sparry was just incredible as well. It really was a story of those three heavy classes for Foreskings. The scouts weren't particularly having the impact you would expect of scouts, but it didn't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, they could just sort of just type plus left in console and just mess around. JackyLegs and all that were doing enough work, really. Just, I guess it's just Israelis and explosives, you know, it's in their genes. Like, they're just all going in. Wacky was really impressing me, dude. Like, some of his Ubers were sick, and he was just, anytime anyone tried to bomb his medic, he had that shit on lock. Like, it was crazy. He'd airshot any soldier that came in. Oh, I'm really excited to see this next game. I do hope that Publiclir somehow, for the Sonosphere, get my advice of trying to abuse the flank, because I really think they could.
I don't think they will. Yeah. I think they're going to bash their heads against a brick wall, because I don't think they really have a leader, someone who analyzes the game a lot and tries to change up the way that they're playing. I think this move of the soldiers is indicative of the kind of changes that Publiclir are going to make. They're going to make kind of fairly large but inconsequential changes that don't really actually change the team for the better, because they haven't put too much thought into it. They just know they have to change something, and I would prefer it if they switched back and just played what they had been previously. But I think they could make it work with Medico as well. They just need to analyze what they have been doing in the previous map and get on to trying to split them up, trying to get behind them, trying to sandwich them in a lot of these plays, get Flip and Atomic on the flank, and try and slow them down.
Yeah.
The advantage for them in this map is that the chokes are way more closed. They're going to have to take Uber trades, and they can bait them into a bad fight.
I think looking at what I saw last game, and like based off these logs as well, like Flip and Atomic are actually doing like really well. But watching the last game, I never felt they were opened up for opportunities, which kind of leaves me pretty confused to AMS and Medico's role in the team, right? Because like if you have these 2-6 scouts and like you have these really aggressive soldiers that really seem to be doing these deep bombs and trying to make shit happen, but it never really did. And I feel like if they played with their scouts a lot more, it could help them. Like if they just sort of bomb in with the scouts getting heal pumped and Smeato just sort of sits back and tries to deal like sick pipe damage that he can do, I think that might help them as well. Like if they speed up how they play, because I feel like the aggression was seemingly random. Like AMS would just, I'm jumping now, I'm launching, dude, or whatever, you know, and Medico would only really go in deep for Ubers. That's just how it seemed to me. I feel like they should make a lot more room for the scouts, and it could help out. Although Sneak is a completely different beast in that regard, I guess.
I also think the Publiclir are going to be on tilt this game, because they didn't expect to lose to Foreskings. They think of themselves as kind of a 4th place team, possibly even contesting for 3rd place. They have the roster on paper to be able to do that, and they haven't performed. And they haven't been performing in scrims and things like that. They lost to Planet Express in the preseason cup as well. They haven't been fulfilling the potential of their roster, and I think this is going to get to them. I think they have some players that are going to get a little bit down on themselves. They're not going to be communicating as well. They're not going to be quite sure what went wrong in the previous game. So we could... even though I think the map probably favors them more than it does Foreskings, I think we could see a similar result, if not a result even more in favor of Foreskings, unless Publiclir can really get a grip on their emotional state and rally themselves for this map.
I'd disagree with you. Like, who has an advantage on this map? I really, like, based off what I saw last map, I really see a lot of the stuff on Foreskings that wins you Snake. Like this really good solid aggression that seemed to be really coordinated. Just Roma plays to break stalemates. JackyLegs seemed to be outshining us completely.
Fair point.
I think, and their scouts are just coming up. I think that's like might be their only weakness is like scout 1v1s to try and get behind might go the way of Publiclir, but that's the only like fear I have for Foreskings. And they've been playing as such a tight unit. I don't really see it getting to them. I see Wacky and JackyLegs just sort of destroying them and Sparry having his way with Publiclir on middles, unless Smirre can pull God pipes out of his a noose.
is potential. There is potential for that. This mid fight is very demo-centric.
Yeah.
The soldiers can play a fairly crucial role if you're going to be trying to play aggressive. If you're going for a passive mid, the soldiers don't really have that much impact. It's mainly demos and scouts. But I've never seen either of these teams play Snakewater in an official capacity, so I'm not really sure what to expect. I think, given that they've come from high, Foreskings are going to be more likely to run an aggressive strategy with Wacky and JackyLegs jumping forwards. They'll probably do a double soldier bomb at some point. They might even start off with that. It's a fairly common strat. And I wonder whether Publiclir are going to be able to deal with it. They have the scout potential to do it, but their scouts wanting to play more aggressive. If they manage to keep a hold on them, then they may be able to defend against that. But Wacky and Sparry Legs, I want to say. All of these names are so similar. Wacky and Jackie Legs. That's what I was trying to say. Wacky and Jackie Legs have been playing so well in the previous map that if they can carry any of that onto the mids, then I can definitely see where you're coming from in terms of them having the advantage.
Yeah, and like another way, like to have a successful mid on this map as scout, I feel like you have to start it out ready to deny soldiers. Like if you deny the enemy team's aggression correctly as a scout, you really open your team up to push forward and win the mid. But I can't really imagine Atomic and Flip playing in these positions like just to shut down solid aggression. I can see them playing like quite forward on the midpoint, trying to walk across with Smirre and just getting jumped by the soldiers. That's like what I'm picturing is going to happen on a couple of these middles, and it's just going to rain the way of Foreskings. And they'll be the kings of this middle. But I don't know, I could be completely wrong. This could be like Publiclir's best map ever, you know? As my mouth dries.
Yeah, we don't really have any previous information about how these teams play. And that's essentially what these first few weeks are for, to get a grip on the teams, to see how they play. And unfortunately, Foreskings aren't going to be playing this Sunday in the Zowie Cup, the Zowie 16. But Publiclir are, so we'll get to see them in a little bit more detail because they're going to be playing best of threes all the way through as well. So that'll really give us an inkling into which maps they prefer and how they view themselves as a team. But the maps are set for ETF2L, and as those fantastic war drums echo across the map, we are live with our second map. It's ETF2L Season 23, powered by TT Esports, Week 1, and it's Publiclir versus Foreskings, Map 2, Snakewater. Let's go.
Sparry raining out all the positioning he wants, just walks across this point and gets so many stickies now, doesn't really get any damage for it. It looks like top left is the position for Foreskings right now. Roma of AMS is in his own kitchen going for the American style of play. He does get stickied in, finally makes a jump forward, tries to get his rockets on his scout, but the picks do come the way of Publiclir. 3 down for Foreskings, and this mid has not gone how I envisioned whatsoever. Atomic and Flip are just reigning supreme right now, finding all these picks, just bullying the scouts down. Sorik's gonna get finished off there. Atomic radiating success. Oh my god, straight on to second. We have game. JackyLegs already on this NG building his sentry, hoping that the follow won't just destroy them on last Sideshow. What were we talking about?
Well, no, I think they did exactly what I said they could do by holding on to their scouts. Flip and Atomic played really passive. Neither of them really went forwards as much as they could, and they managed to get that one really nicely. Down goes the sentry and the heavy, really nicely. But so far, they find Sparry as well, so this one should be lights out here. They should definitely pick up this round. If they play the point, this one should easily be theirs. And there it goes. First round of Publiclir within a minute and a half. So let's see if they can pull out that kind of performance again. JackyLegs, see, both teams played it the same way on the first mid. So they both played fairly passive, and then JackyLegs and AMS bombed at the same time. AMS pushed forwards at the same time as Smirre did, and he got so much more work done, whereas Flip just instantly denied JackyLegs' bomb. So JackyLegs needs some kind of assistance on his bomb if he wants to make that work, or they can just play more aggressively and just try and take down Atomic and Flip. Instead, AMS gets the frag on JackyLegs in kitchen, reads that one perfectly. Wacky's going to bomb in anyway, looking for the pick on the Serotonin, not going to happen, and this looks like another mid for Publiclir.
Oh, what a pipe there from Smirre to take down Shakupple as AMS and Flip finish off Zangetsu and Sorex and just completely wipe Foreskings. Just dominating middle there. Yeah, really nice play. JackyLegs tried to meet AMS in the kitchen, trying to call out his enemy gamer, but AMS just sort of said, nah, this is my kitchen, I'm the one, if you got beef, I'm gonna burn it, and he burned Jackie. Terrible, whatever. Moving on, it looks like they're gonna push through this lower
look at
area.
JackyLegs is gonna drop down underneath. He just bumps straight into Serotonin though and can't find the backstab. That's so unfortunate. He set that up perfectly for himself. I thought we were gonna see some stabby-esque shit.
Unfortunately, we didn't. What we see is Publiclir putting on a demonstration right now. We've had to cap out a last point, finding these frags, and just destroying everyone. Zangetsu, the only one remaining, he's going to try and make a hero play, but just gets brought back down to earth. 2-0 the score for Publiclir. Looks like they've not let Badlands get to him whatsoever. Their Mumble's probably happy as hell right now. All the dopamine
definitely
releasing in their heads.
As soon as they got that first round, any qualms about Badlands were straight out of the window. Even if they were a little bit shaky thinking about the map, they are on full steam ahead right now, and it looks like Foreskings have never played the map before. They're getting that much of a schooling. They either need to play so much more passive and not have these players going forwards at all, or just go balls out at the beginning before Publiclir actually set up, because Publiclir's defense at the moment with Atomic and Flip is playing so well.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to switch up the middles right now, playing a bit more passively than the last one. Soldier does bomb across right now, and the picks do again go the way of Publiclir. It looks like Foreskings just can't really get anything going, although they finally do, finding 2 picks of their own. We have a 3v4 situation right now. This might be the first middle for Foreskings as my thrower is dying. Solly is forward in this window area. He's going to get pushed out by the scout. Only Flip and Serotonin remaining. They're just going to back up to last. Good by Serotonin to stay alive, that though keeps that 80% rolling.
Yeah, really good stuff from Foreskings. They've adapted to the mid-fight. They realized that they had to shut down the scout and Smira as they push across the point, easily find the frag onto Atomic, and now we're going to see an Uber trade on second with both the scouts and the medic. It's just basically who manages to focus down a player first, and then does the medic choose to save them. But instead they see the spawns coming in from Publiclir and decide to back off to mid, where they're going to be trying to hold this. There's still 2 down here, Sparry and JackyLegs both missing from the fight. They have to take an Uber trade forward so that the spawns come in. They find the pick on AMS during the middle of the Uber. This is looking great here for Foreskings, but they have to just hold on, play a little bit passive and wait for Sparry to get into this fight.
Yeah, Medico's still in, does good damage to both the scouts, but they do actually find the pick onto him with both their sollies down. The spam pressure's really gone from them. The scout looking to make a play in kitchen, but he just gets forced out. Pretty good there by Foreskings to realize the moment Smiri was on them, like they could get forced in a pretty bad situation to back up. Publicly try to keep the aggression going, but it's not going to work out. Although Smiri does take down Sparry, that's a really good pick for them to start this. And it looks like we might just be resetting to another stale. No, Publicly do not like to wait. They want to keep it going. They know they're winning. They know they've got that winner's mentality, although the soldier is primed in window. Is he going to drop down onto them? He gets onto Serotonin. Can he does? Yes, he does take him down, and oh my god, more picks the way. AMS and Medico the only ones remaining. Although Zangetsu does get taken down by AMS, he's still hiding on this pack. Can he find another frag? Hopefully. Yes, he can! Medico going huge! Yo!
He's going to pick up Sparry as well if he just looks behind him, but instead he went to try and get out of there. Sparry has been playing so aggressive on this map, and it just hasn't been working for him at all. He just keeps getting picked off. Medico finds another 1v1 against Wacky. He's taken down 3 players one at a time there. That's perfect play by him, just picking his fights excellently when he's the only player alive. And now he's let his team hold on to this second point almost single-handedly.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. His mumble must have been Medico, my god, as he gets all these picks. Just staying in behind, finding him one by one. Took 3 people to finally take him down. And now we've ended up in a reset situation, which is actually good for Publiclir, because they were looking primed to lose their second until Medico activated God mode. We're just going to probably wait for both Ubers. I wonder if Serotonin knows he has the advantage. It does look like he does, because his team is already rotating in. It looks like they want to take this fast through kitchen. And see how Foreskings set up to meet them. The scout rushes in, trying to fight them. Soldier actually in from behind, does get the force out. JackyLegs get taken out, and it's not the best Uber for Publicly. They should be using it to get this middle. However, Wacky is already in there, primed. He's jumping away from the fight. He gets chased down. He's going to fight the scout. He's going to get taken down. Really nice middle, but the Uber is in play now for Foreskings as they push inside.
Yeah, AMS went in there and tried to force, but now he's behind along with Atomic. If he calls to Atomic, they should be trying to sync something up with the rest of their team. And they do. They come in now. They found Zangetsu. He goes down. But fortunately, AMS falls at the same time. Down goes Medico. This is going to be a little bit scrappy. It's all really up to Atomic. If he can apply the pressure from behind, they're going to be able to get this one. Great stuff from Smira as well, denying JackyLegs. But it's only Atomic left alive. Oh, and it looks like they dropped somebody as well. Flip's actually disconnected from the server. So I don't know where he's gone. We didn't see a pause either, so I assume he came back in very quickly.
Yeah, the Frenchie's already waved in the white flag, am I right? Am I right? Flip's just done. Even though they're winning 2-0 right now, almost lose their second, but both the soldiers come in to take it back. I'm still playing pretty forward. Go for a jump. Dude, go on, launch. The fans want it, I want it. He's in saw, he sees another soldier. Just launch, dude. No, he backs up. AMS is boring, dude. Let's hope Foreskings are more aggressive as they hold on their middle. 40%. Please tell me both teams aren't going to be about to wait for Uber right now. That would be so disappointing.
No, I think that's the correct play in this situation. Like, you don't really want to be pushing in if you're Publiclir, you're 2-0 up, you don't want to try and take that risk pushing from second to mid. And Sparry was weak, there were some other players on the team not in great positions, and they don't quite have the Uber. But they do know that they have a bit of an Uber advantage. They haven't been building it the best, but they still do have about 20%, so they should be able to get free entrance into second here. Great shot from Wacky, donks Medico on his head and craters him into the ground. And Wacky and Zangetsu both a little bit weak. It's going to get healed up.
They're trying to spam him from under as the rest of Foreskings do push in now. Solly's nice and forward trying to get all the damage going, but the Uber Publiclir does come out. It's going to be looking pretty bad for Foreskings right now, but they do actually find 2 picks before that Uber came out. Let's see if they can get anything from this. It looks like the Uber was entirely wasted. All they got was a pick onto Shikapipal. But they do keep their last. That's all that matters if you're a team Publiclir right now. Are they going to try and push it out to second? It looks like Foreskings are still very aggressive and they don't want to let him do it. I think we're going to reset to another last hold. Oh no.
Sorex and Shulkapul just seem to run in sometimes ahead of their team, just trying to take random crazy fights. In comes AMS though. Ooh, doesn't quite get that frag on Zangetsu. Zangetsu down to about 3 health there, just trying to regen as much as he possibly can. He's on 15, 22. It's slowly ticking up for him, and he is going to survive. If AMS had just placed that rocket slightly closer, he would have got that kill. Or if he hit the 3rd rocket, he definitely would have got it. But they have been gifted another opportunity to push, and they haven't made the best of that opportunity with AMS down. So now it's just 6v6. But Atomic again, another frag. Publiclir on their defense just need to calm down a little bit. They're throwing these players in.
Yeah, now Foreskings are going to choose to come in as far as they can on left side. Uber popped pretty early for when Zangetsu came in right now. Over the counter pop coming from Publiclir. It's going to favour them. They do have a sniper, however, so the heavies are going to have to go pretty ham to force them out. A pick onto JackyLegs is found, and they lose no one for it, so I think that's going to be a nice successful hold. As Foreskings back up to their second right now, it looks like Publiclir want to keep this rolling. They know they have to pick. They get into Sparry's face and they do a little bit of damage and knock him back down to low. However, with the sniper, this push isn't as successful as it could be. AMS, what are you doing, my man? Now they just have to back up to last again and just try again.
In this situation, if I'm Foreskings and I've already had 2 Uber trades into last, neither of which particularly worked, even though we're getting a few picks beforehand, I'd be sacking JackyLegs in. He's had a fantastic track record so far with single bombs. Actually, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh no, he was just peeking, he doesn't want to go for it. I would send him in on a double jump from the left hand side and spiral onto Serial Tone. You could even push Shulkapul from the right hand side at the same time and just try and get that force out and hold passively on second. But instead, they're just messing about in lobby.
Yeah,
and Flip is on Spy.
Yeah, speaking of messing about, Flip's going to try this out. And to keep talking about it, like, look at, there's 2 players who are extremely far forward from Publiclir. Like, all Foreskings really have to do is just sit around and wait a bit. Looks like Publiclir are going to get impatient, and they could just get some free picks before they push in.
They know the Flip's on Spy.
They must do. Zangetsu's trying to hide his back.
Sorex is spamming. There's a spy. There's a spy over here. That medic is a spy. And Flip's going to go for it anyway. But unfortunately, that one was never going to work.
So they've got 1 pick now. AMS is still really far forward and drop down out right now. That would be great. He's peeking out. Is he going to get his shot off? The medic.
Nobody had seen him. He just runs straight into JackyLegs, pans him once, twice. No way, he gets the frag. That's unreal. JackyLegs just oblivious there and kills himself on AM's body.
It would be used from both teams there, but both Solly's down for Foreskings. They're pretty much just going to have to get out. And Sparry getting frags of these stickies. He's getting some pretty good positioning on them, but the health of Publiclir not looking too great, so the push out is being stalled a little bit here. They're finally going to meet Foreskings on the second. The traditional famous snake we can never push onto second seems to be happening, although Publiclir want to break it. They're back in their lobby though. They're already just conceding this ground again. Safe play, they're 2 rounds up, you know, they don't need to do anything too risky. They're just going to let Foreskings try again, because their last pushes haven't been going so great, so just let them fail another until we finally can push out, I guess. Do you have Flip Spy one more time?
Yeah, let's see what Flip can get done. Surely this isn't going to work after it failed so horribly last time.
No, because you never expect it.
You wouldn't expect it twice in a row, yeah. Especially after that, but he just jumps straight into Zangetsu.
Shoot him off.
Instantly dies, and they've gifted Foreskings a pick, but are they actually going to use it? It doesn't look like it. If they were going to use it, they should have gone much quicker than that. Instead, I think they're going to just counter-sack somebody else in, but that doesn't look like Shulkapul's going to get anything done here. He's still dodging around, but definitely going to go down at some point.
Yeah, finally does. He was alive for a really long amount of time. Sparry does take down AMS. Is this finally going to cue the push? They are here on this right side.
Yes,
Sparry takes down Medico. He went for the force. He doesn't quite get it. Uber finally used Flip, tries to spy again. Finally gets destroyed in spawn. And now the Uber counter from Publiclir. Smear gets knocked really far forward. They only have 3 people up. There's still 6 for Foreskings. This could be it. They're getting the cleanup frags. They're doing the damage, and they finally cap the round 2-1 the score.
What is Flip doing? Why is he trying to snipe people with the ambassador from the right-hand side on Spy? Why not go sniper if you want to try and snipe somebody? He just walks out spawn and tries to hit an ambassador headshot, which would only do 102 anyway, and not even drop anybody. He's triggered me so hard. What was that play? It was appalling. I don't know what he was doing, but never mind. Even with Flip throwing, the score is still 2-1 in favour of Publiclir. Max, take the middle. I can't even handle it.
Sideshow pops a blood vessel. We have AMS trying to bomb in as fast as possible, but gets taken down super quick. Smear really far forward on this point right now. Atomic and Medico find themselves some picks. It's 2 apiece, but all the positioning is in Publiclir's favour, and the health of Foreskings is terrible. Only 3 remain, and only one of them is even full health. So that's a middle going to Publiclir. Have you calmed down yet, Sideshow?
Yeah, absolutely. This has calmed me down because Publiclir got control of the mid once again, and they're just trying to push forwards. Foreskings really aren't in a position here to try and defend the second. It would be a bad decision for any of their players to even be forwards. Shulkapul and Sparry are kind of dicing with death. Sparry still hasn't really got a grip on this game. He's sitting at a low amount of frags, a low amount of assists. I don't even think he's been putting out that much damage, but it's kind of difficult to tell just sat in the STV like this. But I was expecting a little bit more. On Badlands he was a real powerhouse, so maybe if they can get him more into the game, they'll have a bit more success here. But they're still holding on with their claws. It's 2-1.
As Ems tries to go in for this force, he does get taken down along with Smeary. That's pretty bad. They're gonna have to fall out. You know, my theory about Sparry is probably like his house has 1 computer, and he has to share it with his brother, right? So like he's been hogging it too much recently, so now his brother stepped on for the game, and he's just not doing as well. But it doesn't matter because his team's doing quite well right now. As they push onto the second, they've only lost 1, and they do get the Uber out, and theirs is so much better. They should be forcing Publiclir out. Serotonin needs to connect with his plays again. The scout fights are happening. Smear is trying to rain down as much damage as possible. They're still in. They haven't capped a second. AMS just jumps in and gets Zangetsu. His Flip takes down Sorex. The fight actually going all the way to Publiclir's favour in the end, as they get a full wipe from Foreskings. Not 4, but 6 down, and that's going to be 3-1 as a score.
They definitely should have taken that second fight there, Foreskings. Shulkapul dropped on bottom, but he was trying to cover the lower area anyway, and even with the scout down, you should still be able to take that with an uber advantage. But they drew it out for so long that AMS managed to come back in. They were losing the fight anyway by that point, but that was just a hammer blow, and he picks off Zangetsu. JackyLegs was already really weak, and they just didn't back out as soon as it looked unfavorable for them. So now they're starting to pull away a little bit. 3-1. 2 rounds between them and 14 minutes remaining. JackyLegs up on the left hand side. Serotonin has gone down though already, and JackyLegs is getting onto Smira. Wacky flanking. Their players are all over the place now for Foreskings. If they get back together and try and take this fight, they're definitely going to be able to win it, but there's a potential for them just to get picked off 1 by 1 by a really cohesive Publiclir. JackyLegs, Wacky hits a 6 shot onto Flip, but can't quite finish the frag, and JackyLegs needs to hit a similarly 6 shot onto Atomic, can't quite manage it. They played that really well, to be fair to them. Foreskings, they had it, they split up, they flanked them, they picked Publiclir apart, but when it was down to this 4v3 at the end of the fight, they didn't meet up on mid and try and solidify their position. They stayed split up, they didn't meet up back together, and Publiclir just stayed together in a group of 3, just picking people off 1 by 1.
Yeah, the scouts managed to regroup really well there and just sort of meet sure everyone down and secure the middle in the end, as everyone just sort of lemmings into them. They took down the soldier and everything. Wacky hitting 1 nice shot, but it wasn't nice enough, as they did lose it, but Publicly want to keep the victories rolling in right now. It's a great air shot to start this fight off, but the first pick is actually onto Serotonin as JackyLegs picks up Medico again. The frag's not looking too good for Publiclir. Their health is also pretty darn not good, as they're going to get caught out and choke. Stickies from Spari knocking everyone down low. Only the scouts are flipping Atomic remaining. They're going to try and make a play through this SOAR area. Atomic's going to go for the cap, it looks like, as the rest of Foreskings are pushing through this choke. He's going to get muted.
Flip baited Atomic so hard. He wanted to come with him and then just bailed. Like, they would have had 2 scouts on there and they would have been taking a scout for 2v2. To be fair to them, they probably would have lost it. Like, Flip may have made the correct decision by deciding to back off there, but it was such a bitch play. Atomic goes for it and Flip just runs away.
Not brethren field right here as AMS jumps in and gets the force. Really great play from him. He's doing one for the team, but the middle is going to get conceded. AMS just going to try and do as much stuff as he can behind, just jumping around, wasting people's time. Really good by him. He doesn't have to really get a pick here. That would just be a cherry on the tree. He jumps up trying to take the MGE door. JackyLegs not having that. AMS chasing him super hard, going through this window. But the rest of the action is happening right now on the second, as Foreskings are pushing in. They do find a pick onto Wacky and Smeary onto Sorax. However, they do lose Medico in that exchange. However, there's only 3 remaining for Foreskings. This is not looking very good. Spari gets taken down by Serotonin. Not one to put on your CV. Finally, AMS drops from this window and raises the damage down. A Flip was just in the face of JackyLegs there, but does get punished for it. Nice boot to his face. And Zangetsu is going to be the final one remaining, 51%. I don't think he'll be getting out, question mark.
He shouldn't be able to, but Atomic nearly beefed it there. He does actually die in exchange for it, and down goes AMS as well. That gives them potential to push in and force this one out of Serotonin. They should be going quickly, but there's no players with health forwards. Wacky took so much damage there, and Sparry almost on half health. They didn't really have anyone to go in and try and force that out of Serotonin, and now they're just getting baited because as these forward spawns come in, this is going to be a horrible fight for Foreskings to take. They should have been in earlier. They actually find the pick on Flip, but surely with this Ubercharge, as long as Serotonin doesn't drop anybody, he does. He drops Atomic, and now this Ubercharge is not going to be as useful, half as useful as it could have been. They only pick up 1 player with it. Everyone else is able to get out, although Medico's doing quite a lot of damage, and Foreskings should be able to come back in off this. If they get the heals, they should be able to push.
Yeah, I think the reason they didn't want to push in so quickly is like they didn't have their heals. Then they hit tab and saw that the numbers had vanished, so it's like it's time to come in. But Publiclir were confident with their spawners, so they took the fight. However, they did get forced, so it kind of just sort of resets the situation. And Foreskings are in a pretty good position right now with this uber advantage to play forward. AMS jumping in through this window, just destroys Sorak. Oh my god. Get wrecked, kid. Both the scouts in this catwalk area. The aggression from Publiclir is still coming. Although AMS does get taken down, shark-like play there from Foreskings just to get these picks. JackyLegs and Flip trade for each other. Just action happening everywhere seems to be the story of these two teams.
Zangetsu is catching everything. Holy shit, Zangetsu! He should be playing baseball. What the fuck is this? He's catching absolutely everything that's thrown at him. He went down to 20 health and no one was even shooting at him. They were all shooting at Wacky. How does that happen?
Medics and Prem.
AMS! Look at AMS! Look at AMS! Perfectly played! Absolute incredible timing! Absolute god play on Spy there. That was fantastic from AMS.
Spari down to 70 HP as well, ultimately going down to 30 HP. Publicly should keep this train rolling. They are. It's not going to stop at any station. It's express. They're coming through onto this middle. Spari's the only one there. Actually, the rest of his team's still waiting in this choke. What are they doing? They get Shukapuko, but they could have done that a lot quicker and not had to lose Atomic, but they do get the middle in the end. However, Foreskings aren't going to give it to him so easily. There's 9 minutes remaining. They don't have to play this one too quickly, but they're choosing to. The Heavy's bombing straight in and they get the Uber out, and then they're just going to get out like a one-night stand.
Pump and dump.
Yeah, dude.
Medico and Wacky look like they're going to trade, or somebody's surely going to pick up the frag on Wacky. Medico, sorry, but the entirety, the rest of Publiclir knew that they were coming there and minces them. Zangetsu finds the frag on Smear though, and that's put him at a sizable Uber advantage. If he can meet up with anybody, get out of there! You fools! Fly, you fools! Oh, and they split up. Disastrous lack of communication there between Shulkapul and Zangetsu gets minced by Flip and Atomic.
They should be
that was
focusing
so
down
poor.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Great play from Smeary though, if you're a Publiclir player. Just jumps over all of them and does so much damage with his stickies. And Medic does go down in the end, so the fact that he got a sword just doesn't matter. And Publiclir managing to play together and convert this all into a second cap for themselves. 3-1, they might be pressing this to a 4-1 pretty soon, Sideshow. It's getting to look not very good for Foreskings, as I just forget all grammar.
Yeah, Foreskings were looking so good in the previous map, but Publiclir have really turned up on Snakewater. They look like this is their map pick,
It's 3-1, 8 minutes remaining, and they have the overcharge to push last. They're going to be against a heavy and a sniper. The sniper's not going to have an angle onto them, so hopefully he can switch off. No, Sorex is so far forwards, so they're essentially going to be 5 on this defense for a while. Shulkapul gets minced. Down he goes, but both of the soldiers have to reload. That was a crazy exchange between Smirra and JackyLegs. That was so weird. But this round definitely going here in favor of Publiclir. They're going to pick this one up, and it is 4-1.
Wow. Alright, yeah, definitely not like Badlands at all. Not a close game. Publicly just slowly running away with this one. It's not really looking too good for Foreskings. There is 7 minutes though. That's good time. It's not like these super quick rounds that you need to pull out just yet. It does mean they need to be a bit speedier. They're not being quick for their speed, if you know what I mean. That doesn't make sense.
It makes absolutely no sense, but I'm going to humour you and nod and smile. Yeah, Max, yeah, definitely.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. So, on this middle here, we have Spari raining down a bunch of damages as Soli's going for these 2 deep, aggressive jumps from JackyLegs and Wacky. Forces them into their choke in the positioning for Foreskings. However, they have no frags to support this, so when Publiclir finally push across, they're just going to find 4 frags. Spari and Shakopolo are the only ones remaining, and they should get taken down. Spari's 5 HP in this saw. Someone should be finding him. And the scout of Shukulpukul is fighting on his second point, trying to defend it honorably, but his Atomic is just going to take him down with like 3 shots there. I think they might be defeated, Sideshow.
Yeah, both of these maps have been decided by the exchanges between mid and second, I think, and while Foreskings were fantastic when they could get in easily through the choke points, they've just been crushed by Publiclir. Publiclir have looked so much better on this map, and in they come with yet another opportunity to put a round on the board. Wacky, Sorex, and the sentry down instantly. Both of the soldiers syncing up so well there in that uber charge, but things are looking a little hairy for them now. They can play the point and bait people onto it. Serotonin dancing for his life, does manage to escape, baits everyone down there, and they find the frags. There was definitely potential for Publiclir to throw that one after such a great start to the uber, but they secure it, and it's 5-1. There is still time for Foreskings to get back into this. They need 4 rounds, and they have 5.5 minutes, but it's not looking good.
They could defo do it. It's just improbable. But I hope it happens, because that would just be awesome, right? Like, there's so many rounds down, and they just pull it together. You know, they sing some songs and mumble. They get themselves all hardy and ready to go, and they take it back. And this middle is the beginning of that, I believe. We have Shukapokal going down pretty low right now at the start of this fight. Both teams trying to take this top. The first pick is actually going to be AMS getting taken down. Come on, boys, you can do it. I believe Smirra really far forward across this point, not really getting punished for it. And Atomic and Flip are starting to find the frags. Oh no, not looking good whatsoever. Shukapokal getting taken down with JackyLegs as well. This mid is definitely going to be going the way of Publiclir. They have it locked in the bag. It might be another wipe to last. Just 6-1 the score possibly. Smirra bombing in really deep there, finds a pipe on the medic, but Sorex ultimately going to get taken down. Probably saying, it's okay, and mumble as he did that. If anyone called him out for the jump. There should definitely be a second defense actually for Foreskings. The spawn is coming in right now, Sideshow.
Yeah, they're going to have an uber trade here on second, but that play from Smirra is the kind of thing you can afford to do when you're 5-1 up, and there's only 4.5 minutes. If they get the round, and that's the map secured. So it's like a mapping play, or it just loses you a few points and you're back defending your second. So I think that's perfectly reasonable for Smirra to try and go for that one. Spari, again, in with a God Bomb. He does actually pick up Serotonin, and Medico on the other end of it is trying to slow down some other players, but Smirra and AMS combining together, picking up frags all over the place, and JackyLegs just can't have as much of an impact as he did in the previous map. This is not going his way. Flip and Atomic playing much tighter to the combo than they were on Badlands, and it is working out perfectly here for Publiclir. The mid point is recapped, and it's 5-1 with them knocking on the door of Foreskings.
Yeah, they managed to deny 4 forwards as well with that cap, and oh my god, yeah, Spari and Zangetsu could get caught out here. Godly pipes from Spari though, just takes down Medico and Flip. That was pretty sick, nasty, crazy. He's feeling himself, he's going to try and fight the second. He's coming out, but the point's already been capped. It looks like they want to take it back for the motherland, dude. Just partitioning the land for themselves right now, and there's going to be a second hold for them. 3 minutes remaining though, it's starting to look pretty unlikely for them winning this. And with AMS's turn to go spy is Arise now. He's behind the medic, he uncloaks, and he does backstab and gets you absolutely ridiculous as Slush Puppy takes down Medico, and Serotonin even going to get taken down. Oh, we have a player of Flip lagging out, getting stickied in midair, and then timing out. It's going to be a middle cap for Foreskings, but 3 minutes remaining. Sideshow. Not looking too good.
Well, that's it. That's the game there. And Flip, I think, will not even be bothered about reconnecting particularly because it's impossible for Foreskings to come back now. The way that 5CP TF2 works, you can cap roughly 1 round every minute if you go in balls to the wall. So there's no chance for a comeback here. They can make the score slightly more respectable, but Publiclir have managed to take Snakewater. And they were playing so much better on this map. I think a real difference of maps there.
Yeah, the cohesion of the team, I think, showed a lot more. I think it kind of favoured the playstyle, I guess. Like, just pumping heals into the scouts and letting them punish Foreskings' aggression. Completely different to what happened on Badlands, where they just continuously took each other's took fights on the opponent's terms and just sort of see who came out. This one, it was just like, no, we're going to heal our scouts and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Kind of identifying that they were the key players of the last map, I feel, and just giving them so much more room to work and that they have. Foreskings are going to try and get one more round on the board to make it look a bit more respectable. They do find a pick on Atomic and AMS right now. Pretty nice from them. Flip headshots wacky as the Uber comes out. Sparry's going to try and rain as much damage as he can and find some nice pipes and stickies with Smeareg with 2 kills of his own. And their Uber's finally used. Oh no, not looking good for Foreskings whatsoever. They're just going to try and take the MG on his hut here. Sparry getting rocked there though. And Smeareg, oh my god, getting so many picks. Great play from him. 1 minute 38. That's just... sayonara.
Yeah, rather than discussing what's actually happening on the server, Max, I want to know your insight on what do you think went wrong for them on this map? What can you not do on Snakewater that they could on Badlands? What has fed into Publiclir that screwed over Foreskings in this map compared to Badlands?
I feel like JackyLegs hasn't been making enough play on the flank, like with his scouts over. Like AMS is just getting so much done. Like he's finding ways to just get really deep and really behind, just unseen like so often. And I think the Publiclir just winning this flank and then sort of making fights happen on their terms, and then the scouts just getting all these heals and they just push across and frag everyone seems to be the story. And Smeareg just has been pumping out 1,000,000 damage, it seems like, in this game, getting so many sticky kills and pipes as well. I think they've just taken complete control, in all honesty. They've been ironclad, they've not really got too much holes on this map. They only seem to lose like the odd team fight, really.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the players that you've highlighted. Like, AMS was playing fantastically in this map and had no impact in Badlands, and the exact opposite for JackyLegs. JackyLegs was phenomenal on Badlands and has had very little impact in this map. It was the tale of the 2 roamers, if you want to simplify it to that kind of level. But, yeah, I mean, JackyLegs is currently sat at the bottom of the scoreboard. His plays on mid generally yielded no fruits. He wasn't able to really... They never slowed the game down and allowed JackyLegs to really make the difference for them either. They didn't play into the strengths that they had. They kept trying to take these Uber trades, kept getting split up on the flanks and playing straight into Atomic and Flip. And that is it. That is the server time up, and the final score is 5-1 to Publiclir. And Shulkipple has a bucket of chicken. However, he does not have a map win on Snakewater. So you win some, you lose some. I'll take the bucket of chicken.
I'll take the chicken any day. So is that 3-3?
Yeah, that's 3-3 in terms of points. Nice. I think one team will be more happy with that than the other. I think Foreskings will be happier with the 3 points than Publiclir will. But I think Foreskings, it's definitely highlighted some flaws in their play on Snakewater.
Going back to like how the maps favor for the teams, I feel like Publiclir in both maps was being the aggressor more often. And I think Badlands just tended itself to like how they play defense a lot more. Like on Badlands, Foreskings could just sort of group up, and if anyone tried to make anything happen, they're all there just to shut it down. While on Snake, it's just there's so much ground to keep track of at any one time, they couldn't really do that. So just let these players like AMS to just run in, or Atomic randomly just comes behind you on flank and meat shots you to death, with Flip randomly coming in at the end to take some frags as well. I think the maps do play a big part in that. I'm really excited to see if these teams ever play each other again. It would be really nice to see. But we only have a league where we get to see it once. Yay!
Well, they'll hopefully meet in a few cups further down. Hopefully, over 2016, we'll have a lot more cups than we have done in previous years, because there they could be a lot more entertaining as well. You know, it's a tournament.
Possibly have a lot of lands this year as well. Especially
although I don't think we'll see Foreskings at many lands unless unless they want to walk across mainland Europe or something.
Take a pilgrimage to GA.
Yeah, it's possible.
The Brits have the road trip. The Israelis have the pilgrimage.
Let's take a look at the logs though, and straight away, I mean, I think the logs reflect what we were talking about the whole game. It's almost too easy to call out JackyLegs and AMS as the deciding factors. AMS is actually sat at the top of the damage purely because of his spy frags, to be honest. Like, he got 2,000 damage from spy because he got those 2 really big plays. which I mean, the spy was really good from AMS, and they should never have flip on spy. Never, never, never put flip on spy. But his soldier play was actually really, really good as well. He went 21 for 21 and put up like around 7k damage, something like that. But he was constantly getting behind and harassing them and setting things up so that Flip and Atomic could go just deep into them. And look at Atomic stats, 34 for 14, and puts it 257 DPM. That's solid.
Pretty damn impressive. I think we should talk to the players. We'd have AMS and JackyLegs waiting upstairs if anyone wants to drag him in. We can ask them these questions that we have ourselves.
Oh, JackyLegs is eating. Good lord. Control yourself. But yeah,
you didn't move me in. I'm sorry.
I did. I moved you in now.
Victory.
Yeah, he's eating the delicious tears from AMS's team. Although you kind of threw Snakewater away. Or should I say, actually, I don't think you threw Snakewater away. I'll rectify that. I think Publiclir played really well on that map. So I'm going to throw it over to them first because they've got the most recent glory.
Hi,
AMS, what went wrong for you in particular, personally, on Badlands?
Me personally?
Yeah. Before we talk about the wider context of the team.
Well, as to say, I'm the kind of player who, when I feel like I'm performing bad, or the team's down in rounds, or we're not doing good, my brain just automatically does this kind of thing where I just feel like I need to do things for them all the time, like do things for my team and try to open up like room and just like try to get a medic frag all the time, try to rescue the game every second I respawn. So it just kind of rolls over, and it's really hard for me to get mentally like back into it, especially when some people in the team have a similar mindset. So like the moment we were down one round on Badlands, from that moment on we just started playing like complete idiots essentially. I mean, we were still being like heavily outplayed in the DM department, especially when it comes down to soldiers, but I still think we could have had much better grip on it if we just stopped playing the way we did, if we had the capability to just restabilize or play completely, which we weren't able to do in the end.
Do you think then that if you had lost a round early on in Snakewater, that map could have been bad for you as well? Or were you mentally prepared going into that? Had you washed away all of the troubles of Badlands?
I think we needed to lose to them to be able to beat them. That seems to be like the case with every team. We always go into it and then we get owned, and then we start playing better against them when we feel like we feel like we're the underdogs essentially, right? Like after coming off of a lost map, everyone's more motivated, and at that point it's not going to come to us as a surprise to anyone if we lose the second map as well, but we're going to try as hard as we can to win the second map.
What happens then if it's a best of three? So you lose the first one, you win the second one because you're the underdogs. Are you still the underdogs going into the decider, or are you going to crumble in every best of three?
Hopefully we'll see if we get there.
So JackyLegs, monster performance on Badlands, I think it should be said, but it's Snakewater that I actually want to focus on, because what was your team's thought process going into Snakewater? How does your team like to play it? What kind of things do you try on mids and seconds?
I'm not gonna make any excuses, but I'm gonna make excuses. So we don't we don't really scrim much, and especially not Snakewater, because Snakewater is like our worst map by far out of like the entire map pool. And we just went into like, let's just try our best. We start like talk strats during like before the game, and we told ourselves, well, let's try this, let's try that. And we tried a few things. I think a couple of them worked and a couple mids, but the first two mids were disastrous. Like our strats went to shit. Afterwards, I think our mindset kind of changed into being like super aggressive, because Spari, like our main caller, pretty much called that we need to be like super aggressive and just keep going and keep going. So we just tried again and again and again, and it didn't work out, but they played really well, so props to them.
Had you changed anything going into Snakewater, AMS, from the team point of view?
Well, we all called that if we kill the soldiers, we're gonna win. And I don't know if that was the case, but that was one thing that we really focused on, and we tried to get everyone to focus on really hard. It's just really upsetting when you come to Badlands mid after mid, and you just call the same thing every time, like, alright, our medic's dying to JackyLegs every time. JackyLegs got a free kill last mid, and you just have this one objective, and you're not able to accomplish it. So I think we needed that time in between maps to discuss things properly. And I some sort of a talk as well with people about what I talked about before, just like playing more stable. I'm not sure really if we went by that because we were just getting momentum and getting some nice individual plays and stuff going. But like, I mean, it doesn't really matter if you accomplish what you talked about or not. What matters is that people were a lot more motivated to play, I guess, and to do well.
So I want to ask you about this Solly change with you and Medico. It didn't really look to be too well on Badlands, but then on Snake, I guess you both picked it up and sort of realized your groove. Is this something you're going to keep, or do you think you might end up switching back?
I think it's currently probably a bit weaker than we were on our other roles, just because I'm not an excellent roamer. I have some good games, but I have some games where I'm just pretty much useless, like I was in Badlands. But I still think we're gonna stick to it, just because Medico in Sol is pocketing way more, and I'm enjoying roamer. It's something new, and
Whoa.
I'm having a lot of fun playing it.
Em's enjoying roamer. What is happening?
Yeah, well, we kind of came to this conclusion that we're not really playing a full-time roamer and a full-time pocket. More so, we're swapping in between a lot, and we both have this comfortable pocketing area every once in a while. We both lead Ubers. We both stay with zero when it's required, or that's what we're aiming for. And then neither of us really holds flank. We just have one scout kind of watching it. That's the game plan, at least. I don't know how well we stuck to it. I guess we'll find out when we're watching these games back. But it's essentially like trying to have two pockets and one of them being a bit more roamy, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like one thing I noticed on Badlands was like Atomic was able to get like pretty much behind and like really deep in, but he was never in a position to like commit anything. If like either you or Medico was a bit more loose, like he could have opened up a lot of plays with him. Like he'd get really deep into house or something and but wouldn't be able to make anything happen. That's just one thing I noticed. I don't know. You might want to take a look at that.
I noticed one thing. Could you never let Flip play Spy ever, please? Like, just take yourself and plonk yourself on the Spy and say, guys, okay, I come up with the sick Spy plays. Do not touch this class. It is mine.
Did you catch my sniper play on second in lobby? I was hiding in drop down as a sniper for the whole time.
And then double panned JackyLegs.
No, I had a shot on the medic, and then I flicked and I missed it. A full charge body shot on an almost standing still medic. And then I just trying to pan JackyLegs so they didn't see me.
Yeah, I caught that. I don't know whether the camera did, but I saw that little level of retardation. Flip says, lucky something, kidding nice. I'm something good at spy, little something. Kappa.
You're Flip.
Beneath the intelligible nature of Flip's everyday conversation, I think he took offense to us calling out his spy. But yeah, there were certainly some interesting ones. And apparently JackyLegs had a sick air shot as well, but I think we both missed it. I think the camera caught it and everyone went mad in the chat, but I think both of us were looking the other way.
The joys of the game where there's just action everywhere. It's like impossible to catch everything.
Did you catch JackyLegs ad-5ing me?
I think so.
When he went to back up and I tried to block.
Oh yes, yeah.
I know, dude, like an hour is too long to remember.
So, to bring it back into focus, how has this fixture changed your outlook of where you expect to finish in the season, if it has at all, AMS?
Our goal will still be playoffs. It'll be playoffs for as long as it's possible, but like our expectations, we don't really have any, because we've been like, we really don't know where to put ourselves even. Like we really have no idea, because occasionally we can do good against good teams, and then we can do really bad against worse teams, or just feel like we're not on their level, even though we really should be, because we're doing good against good teams. You get what I mean? Like we really don't know where to place ourselves at all. So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. We're going to try our best to get playoffs regardless.
Yeah, I feel like that's a position where a lot of the teams are right now. Like the talent's like really scattered across the Prem scene. So it's like you look at every team and there's like a couple players you can point out, but you just don't know how they all like interact with each other. So you don't really know where they'd be placed. I think that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that folds out across the season. But I think that you guys probably will be along like the top, just considering the experience on your team. You'll probably hold out and figure out like what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that once we get our playstyle sort of properly, and we can play well in these situations, even when we're down in rounds and it's we're feeling the pressure. You know, if we just learn to play the way we want to play, I think we have a good shot at it. If we play like we played in Badlands today, every time we go down in rounds, then we definitely will not.
The same question then to JackyLegs, because I don't know really what your aspirations into the coming into the season. Sorry, I cut out there, didn't I? But I didn't know what your team was thinking, whether you're taking it very seriously, whether you wanted to aim for these top spots, whether you thought you had the potential. Give us a rundown of what your team was expecting and how this fixture feeds into that.
Our team isn't expecting much, as we're on a really tight schedule with our teammates, and we barely scrim, really. Once or twice a week if we're lucky. So we always play seriously. We always try our best. Always put up a good show, because that's how we believe we should play. No matter what. Because it's not an excuse not to play well. Just because we don't play much doesn't mean we can't play well. So we do try our best. Our expectations are, I guess, we're aiming towards playoffs. I believe. I hope. That's the the dream. But realistically, mid-table would be okay as well. It's pretty fine. But because this season is so scattered with 4 new teams and us tying with Publiclir now, it might just happen. I don't know. Hopefully.
Who mingles for your team, JackyLegs?
It's me and Barry.
Okay. So do you come for the flank and when plays are made and stuff? I guess.
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
And I also call when Sparry's dead or is nowhere near the situation.
Does anyone on your team have real practical military experience? That they bring to the team, or is you
nobody? No.
Okay.
You're not applying those sick Israeli Defense Force military strategies to your TF2 experience.
You're all on tiny chat with webcams, and you're doing hand signals for the strats and shit, and you're just getting really deep into it.
Pretty much, yeah.
That would be a good way to do it. When you're peeking corners, you do you say things in chat that mean different things. If they're close or not. Play with night vision goggles.
Breach the choke.
Counter-terrorists win.
No, that's a much better competitive game. Sure, we don't talk about that one. But
people might go to another stream.
Exactly.
People
might watch actual professionals play. Right, let's disconnect for now on Team Fortress TV 2. We've got some ESEA action coming up tonight, actually. It's Team Suyooo against EVL Gaming. So that's the second place team from last season, Team Suyooo, with new player Dewatna against the EVL Gaming, who finished about 7th, but have made some roster changes. So that one should be a pretty interesting matchup. TSU the favourites, but it should be pretty good either way. And then on Sunday, we have some Zowie EU action. So make sure you check all of that out. AMS, you guys are playing in that, right?
The Zowie Cup, yeah.
Yeah. Are you? Have you looked at the bracket? Who are you up against? Are you going to win?
We have some teams that I don't know of first, right? And then we got then we got the Rusky team.
Oh yes, interesting. Yeah, so your game's going to actually be streamed. You against the assuming you and the Rusky team both make it through, but that one's going to be an interesting match. The return of Nox, Numlocked, Shadowburn Forsaken, etc. against tried and tested Publiclir. So that'll be a good one. Yeah, man, have you not seen this? Check out the Zowie posts on TFTV. It's their cup roster. Anyway. That's more drama for another time, specifically Sunday. So tune in then, but for now, that's us finished on Team Fortress TV 2.
Shoutouts?
I get slammed, idiots. You don't deserve shoutouts.
Wow.
First up, you don't talk about Badlands, the map that we fucking raped them, alright? Then, not only that, you don't give me the shoutout, you understand? And also, no, hold up. Hold up. Zowie Cup, you didn't mention the fact that you put it on a Sunday.
They're always on Sundays.
Shut the fuck up. Sunday, you put it on a Sunday. You knew that we can't do Sunday. You're like, yeah, I fucking hate those Jews. I don't watch
that. What do you
that.
mean? Sunday's the best day for everyone, dude.
Except us, of course. Like that. Everybody's against us.
It's just we're all racist. You gotta accept it.
It's a gigantic conspiracy against you. I didn't realize we're still live as well, so yeah.
Oh shit, oh fuck, oh.
JackyLegs has been let out. So, yeah, I can't remember. Do you want a shout out
yes,
now that you've made such a
shout out?
Now that you made such a giant fuss about it, go on, shout people out.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Now we protest.
Go ahead.
No shout out. No shout out.
Shout out to
no shout out.
Shout out to
No
Sideshow and Max and Suyooo for casting this and streaming this. Thank you so much.
Now you thank me.
Okay. Let me make it right. Jeez. And that's it. I don't know. Shout out to my team, and that's it. Shout out to you guys for watching. That's it. Bye.
Shout out to my team and shout outs to Verse and Spud, and especially Alfie, the biggest baller of all time.
Shout out to JackyLegs. You're the best, Jackie.
Shout outs to Sora.